Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Divisha. In this video, I'm going to discuss again CUET Economics Center Solution 2024 solution to question number 72, and that's a question from microeconomics. Now the question says we have to answer which of the following are correct. Okay, whether is it monopolistic firm. Let's just discuss each statement and quickly understand what each statement has to say. Fine. So it says first part, monopolistic firm faces a horizontal demand curve. Now we can clearly see that a monopolistic firm, we should be knowing, all of you should be knowing that in PQ space, if I discuss the first part, monopolistic firm faces a downward sloping demand curve, and usually this is how the demand curve is. And since monopolistic competitive firm has some kind of a monopoly power in the market, and so it chooses, it can choose different price for different quantity that it choose to supply. And rather horizontal demand curve, it's a feature of perfectly competitive firm. So I mean, in that sense also we clearly understand this statement is first is not true, because a monopolistic firm is not facing a downward sloping demand curve. Monopolistic firm is not facing a horizontal demand curve, but rather it's facing a downward sloping demand curve. This is the feature of monopolistic curve, right? Now moving on, next is perfectly competitive firm selling a differentiated products. Fine, let's understand what it means. A perfectly competitive firm which sells differentiated products. Now again, a perfect competitive firms, what is the feature of perfectly competitive firm? It rather sells homogeneous products and not differentiated goods, right? As in perfect competition, we can understand from various examples like tomato market, right, or maybe potato, like this, where there is perfect competitive market. They are selling homogeneous products, more or less all the goods are similar, so they don't differentiate in any sense, and therefore the first is also, second part is also not true, right? Moving on to the third part, output of corner firm depends on the output of other firm. Now what it has to say, the third part is corner duopoly. Basically it's the feature of corner duopoly that let's say there are duopoly, so that means there are two firms, and the two firms are setting quantity for their firm at the same time. Okay, which means that firm 1 is choosing the best quantity for itself, okay, and that's a function of output of the other firm. And similarly firm 2's output, and that's a function of output of the first firm, because each of them are independently setting quantities, right? Each of them is independently setting the quantities, and we can therefore say that this statement is true in the sense that the output of corner firm does depend on the output of other firm, right? So the third statement is true. What about the fourth part? Monopolistic firm do not have a supply curve. This is also true, because a monopolistic firm, monopoly firm, you remember this thing, monopoly firm does not have a fixed supply curve, right? Because it's a large firm having a monopoly in the market, and therefore the supply curve, which is the marginal cost curve above the minimum average variable cost, and this itself curve can change as per the scale of the firm. So monopoly firm do not have a supply curve, and so therefore the third part, that is true, and the fourth part is also true. So the answer to this is third and fourth part, both are correct. Okay, so if you check the answer in the option box, you will understand that third and fourth, which is option 3 as per the question, that is correct. Okay, so I hope it answers your question. And if this video is helpful, guys, do subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thank you for watching.